In this video we're going to talk about key balls. Key balls are going to either make or break your next high running straight pull, so stick with me till the end. I have the 10 best key balls lined up for you that are going to make you run more racks. Hi, it's the Terminator and welcome back to another episode of Terminator Tips. If you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and click to like this video so you won't miss any future lessons. Let's dive into today's tip. Why are key balls so important for our straight pull game? Well, it's the shot before the break shot, which means that if the shot is too easy, it could mean that we fall out of position for our break shot, we get too straight, too far away, too thin, and our run cannot continue. However, if we find good key balls that are very easy to execute, like a stop shot or a shot that brings us into position for our break shot, then we have a good chance of getting a great angle on our break shot, continue our run and break that high run. So let's look at the first example. And this is actually a classic example and actually a little bit of a trap, because you would think that the one ball is actually the ideal break shot. It's close to the rack, but there's actually an easier key ball out there that connects us right away, very easily, to the break shot. Can you guess which one it is? Yep, it's the 13. If we would play a stop shot on the 13, we would have a super position on the 12 to, with follow, go into the stack and continue our run. So how would I run this little pattern here? Well, instead of leaving the 1 for a breaker, I'm going to start with it right away. Then the 5 that connects me to the 10 connects me to the 11, and that brings me right in solid position for the 13. Anywhere here, kind of straight in on the 13, leaves me ideal for the 12. It's connect the dots from there. Let me show you. There I have my angle on the 13. All I have to do is make the ball. And that leaves me with a great angle on the 12 to go into the stack and continue my run so we can break that high run. Let's look at the other examples. Here we have a classic side pocket example that you can run into. And usually they are connected to a ball on the long rail. So here, for example, I'm going into the kitchen with a shot. I'm playing position for the ball on the long rail. And when I bounce off the rail, I have position for a shot in the side, straight in. And all I have to do is play a nice stop shot, and I have excellent position for the break shot next to the rack. It can also happen though that the side pocket shot is laying on the other side. This looks not ideal, but actually there's a ton of different ways we can play position. For example, a straight draw shot here. We can go 3 rails into the kitchen and back out. We can go into the kitchen 1 rail and 2 rails and back out into line for the break shot, or we can play position around the break shot as such, 3 rails, all depending on what the table gives us. Then we have a few examples of a key ball around the spot area, also very classic. We can do multiple things as such, come up without hitting the rail, here bouncing off the rail, drawing it straight back from the opposite side. Again, various possibilities, crossing over, or if you're really low on that ball, we can go 3 rails around and coming back into position. Next example is under the rack. You would think you would just roll this in and play for the 13 and then the 15, but actually if we play straight in on this 15, lay the cue ball under the 13, now all we need to do is bounce out one rail for the 10. I like to use a lot of spin here, a lot of right spin in this case, to lengthen out the angle and open it up, so I don't get too close on the 10 and risk of not getting a shot. Then under the rack, 2 rails. A nice little end pattern here, bounce off the rail, get straight in on the 6 to leave myself a 2 rail position from the 4 to the 10. Make sure you get high enough on this 4 ball, and now we use a little bit of high right spin, go off the short rail, then the long rail, and play to the inside of the 10 for a nice break shot. Then we have a few examples of a key ball in the kitchen. Much overlooked, but again we have a lot of opportunities with this shot. We can draw it straight back, we can come off the side rail, we can bounce one rail out, coming into the line of the 4 ball. If we're a little bit more straight in, we can play with a tip of inside English and go 2 rails onto that side. Or if we have a lot of angle, we can go 2 rails in and out of the kitchen and give ourselves an angle on the 4. Now, what you also might run into is the key ball on the other side in the kitchen. Again, various opportunities here. Bounce off the rail twice, drawing it straight back, drawing off the rail and out again, one rail up from the other side. Again, as you see, a lot of different options, and even 2 rails in and out of the kitchen to the other side. A great key ball to keep in mind. Then also, you could be laying on the short rail in the kitchen. If you have a big angle, you can just play it 1 rail out, into the line for the 1 ball, like this. And if you have a shorter angle, a more flat angle, you can play it 2 rails, short rail, long rail, and stay to the inside of the break shot. Works like a charm. Then what's also overlooked sometimes is a ball on the long rail on the same side as the break shot. Like here we have a nice endgame pattern. I'm coming out 2 rails into the line for the 6, into the funnel, like here, and all I have to do now is stop the cue ball, and I'm on the same side from the 4 to the 8. I'm just going to play this with a touch of low left, and I'm coming towards the 8 ball with the angle that I need to break them open. So keep that key ball in mind. Example 9 is 3 rails around the table. If you're a little bit low and you can't roll it 1 rail and you don't know what to do, there's a whole table open for you to play position on. 3 rails around is an excellent choice for that shot. And the final example is when you're a little bit tricky on the long rail, like this one. We can go 2 rails up and down for the 5, or if we're a little more flat, we can go 3 rails around the 5 ball and come back out for position. Tricky speed, but it's very doable. So there you go, guys. That should have you well underway now with recognizing better key balls for yourself so you can break that high run barrier fast. Don't forget to check out all the other tips and lessons on this channel. There's a ton of great information here ready to boost your game. And if you're interested in the mental side of the game, head over to terminatorcollege.com and check out all the great courses that are waiting there for you. Thanks for watching.